are the top 3 mutual funds that I have selected for my portfolio in 2024. Do watch this video till the end, wherein I will tell you 1. Which are these top 3 funds? Secondly, what is the rationale behind the selection of these funds in my portfolio? And thirdly, what is the long-term CAGR of all of these funds? जो पहला फंड है, that is ICICI Large and Mid Cap Fund. The rationale behind selection of this fund is multifold. First of all, large caps in my portfolio are typically going to restrict the portfolio performance to about 15%. If you want the portfolio performance to start reaching 20% plus, you have to include mid caps as well in the portfolio. That is why a large and mid cap fund. Secondly, mid cap stocks can be very difficult for a retail investor to choose with their portfolio. So here I am giving the fund manager the advantage to shift allocations between large and mid cap as and when the market dynamics change in favor of mid caps. Thirdly, we are expecting a Fed rate cut to happen somewhere between the July to September quarter. The moment that happens, there is going to be liquidity unleashed, and because Indian macroeconomic prospects are so good, that is why we are expecting the FII liquidity to also flow to the Indian markets. Now, whenever there is an FII inflow in India, we have always seen that this inflow starts with the large cap segment and then there is a spillover to the mid and small cap segment. And hence, I am keeping a portfolio which is dominated by large caps to the extent of 50% in this fund. Now, whenever the performance changes in the favor of mid caps, the fund manager will have the leeway to shift allocation towards mid cap. The second fund that I have chosen in my portfolio is ICICI Prudential India Opportunities Fund. Now, what they have done with this fund is something of a genius. This is a special situation fund where the stock selection is because of a price correction in a stock, either due to a regulatory change or some kind of a global or a domestic event. A classic example of a stock selection in this portfolio is NTPC, which was selected in 2019 when the government was talking about shifting from non-renewable sources of energy to renewable sources of energy. Now that NTPC is a very financially strong stock and they have also shifted in the favor of renewable energy through EV battery production, the stock has already rallied by 160% in the past 5 years and the stock selection has paid off. The second mutual fund that I have selected in my portfolio is Tata Business Cycle Fund. Now, I never recommend investors to go for sectoral funds because sectoral funds and their timing can be very tricky in nature. I'll give you an example of the sectoral selection problem. In 2021, a lot of digital funds were performing very well. A lot of investors decided to go into the digital sector after seeing the superlated performance of digital funds in 2021. What happened was that they ended up entering into the sector at a peak and were dismayed with negative returns or single-digit returns even close to 3 years after entering into the fund. So avoid sectoral funds at any cost, and hence I am choosing a business cycle funds where the fund manager will have the leeway to shift between business sectors as and when the market timings demand. Now that infrastructure sector, defense sector, power sector, and even banking sector from a value perspective are attractive, the fund has decided to go into these sectors. This fund is ICICI Prudential Large and Mid Cap Fund. As you can see, that the fund is having 53% of a current allocation in large caps. The scheme has delivered a performance of 42% in the past 1 year, of course, which is an abnormal performance. You can see that the last 1 year performance is 42%. This is going to level out over the long term. But even in the past 5 years, after SEBI's recategorization of categories large, mid and small, the fund has delivered a 22%, which is a decent enough return for a large and mid cap category. Here you can see the long-term performance of Tata Business Cycle Fund. In the past 1 year, it has performed superlatively at 52%. We expect this performance to level out in the next coming years. However, since inception, almost past 3 years also, the performance has been good at 24%. You can see the portfolio construction as well, that the portfolio has heavily taken up HDFC Bank, where the performance has been muted and some kind of a value is available. This has also taken Larsen & Toubro in the infrastructure sector and Power Grid Corporation in the power sector. Here is the portfolio construct of ICICI Prudential India Opportunities Fund. You can see that they have selected HDFC Bank due to the constraint that was created in the deposit market very recently. They've also selected Bharti Airtel which was facing stress in terms of its cash flow due to the high capex spend in 5G in the telecom sector. Infosys was also a latest addition to the portfolio, which was facing a stock price correction due to the global slowdown as well as the attrition in the industry. Here you can see the performance of ICICI Prudential India Opportunities Fund. The stock selection has paid off very well. In the past 1 year, the fund has delivered a 47% annualized return, and its long-term returns in the past 5 years has been 23%. Why don't you tell me what is your choice of a fund selection in 2024? If you like this video, please do subscribe to our channel Ingenetus, and also let us know what other financially relevant topics would you want us to talk about. This is Shalini Gera. You take good care of yourself. I'll be seeing you soon.